What's going on, everyone? Jew here for Off the Dome, and boy, do I got a good one for you guys. So, getting started, Rich Paul, always with the controversy, right? So, Rich Paul recently on his podcast, he had um, a conversation with Max Kellerman and Gilbert, and of course, this always comes up the Michael versus LeBron, but interestingly, he brings in Scottie Pippen, and I think that there's kind of a hidden motivation here, and I think most people who pay attention to this stuff, we kind of see it. But I want to play that clip for you, and then I want to play the longer clip with Kendrick Perkins' reaction to it. So let's roll the first clip so we can discuss.
In the NBA Finals, winning Finals MVP all 6 times, a clean sweep. But someone thinks that record would have maybe been different if Scottie Pippen was not on the Bulls. That someone would be Rich Paul, who had this to say on his podcast, Game Over.
I think Scottie's rings are just the same as Michael Jordan's. Why not?
Because he won the best player on the team.
Yeah, but he was the most impactful player on the team.
I get it.
What do you mean he wasn't?
Listen, I get it.
If you unplug Scottie Pippen off that team,
Sure.
Jordan's 0 for 6.
So that was Rich Paul's take. Why would he say that? He's not saying that because that's what he believes. That's not the reason why he's making this commentary. He's making this commentary because in his mind, and a lot of people who really support LeBron James, in his mind, if you start to chip away at Michael Jordan's career, you can make the case for someone else. In his case, you can make the case for LeBron, right? And they do it all the time. Oh, Michael Jordan played with plumbers. Oh, Michael Jordan didn't win anything, his first couple of years in the league. Oh, Michael Jordan wasn't that great when he was on the Washington Wizards. When he was, 40 years old, he wasn't as good as LeBron when he was 40 years old. Like, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. So if you find a way to keep chipping away at Michael Jordan, they think they're elevating LeBron James. So here comes Scottie Pippen. So in their mind is, let's elevate Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan's equal or better, and then we can have the conversation. Well, Michael had Scottie, and LeBron didn't, and LeBron accomplished this without a Scottie Pippen, and hence Michael Jordan just isn't as good as you think that he is. Now, on the flip side to that, the big Jordan supporters, they're not getting away with it either, because their response to that is always to just shit on Scottie Pippen. I've been watching this go down back and forth for years, right? So what do they say? Oh, the migraine. Oh, he opted to, enjoy his summer and not have back surgery. Oh, he refused to go in and take the last shot, in a year that Michael Jordan wasn't even playing. And then Tony Kukoc took the shot. All of these things you hear about Scottie Pippen. And it's designed to kind of just diminish what he was able to accomplish with Michael Jordan. Let's keep it real. Both sides are wrong. Both sides are right to a degree. And I'll explain why. So, first of all, Michael Jordan doesn't win 6 championships without Scottie Pippen. And this idea, part of the arguments that you see is, if you just replace Scottie Pippen with another all-star, Michael Jordan would accomplish the same, if not more. Shut up. That's not true. There's no way to know it. You could also argue that if you replaced Michael Jordan and stuck in a Clyde Drexler or, someone else around the same age and around the same athletic ability, that they would have also won. There's no way to really know. But the two of them as a tandem, virtually unstoppable. We saw what they did. And I watched every single game back then. I would record it on WGN, and I would sit there and not only watch the game once, but I'd watch them over and over again. It was a different time back then, wasn't on the internet, wasn't doing all of that stuff. But I would watch these games and study them. And often, I would come out saying, yeah, Scottie Pippen, was a player of that game. And a lot of time, it was just due to his defense. It didn't show up on the numbers. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. They watch a couple of highlights and they think they understand what happened back then. And even people who were alive back then and paying attention to it, especially you hear a lot of media heads say, well, I was there. I was covering this back in 1994 and all of this stuff. Yeah, you were covering it, but you were also glazing Michael Jordan because he was the sports cash cow, definitely the NBA's cash cow. So I don't even want to hear that. Let's just have an honest conversation. Now on the flip, they bring in Kawhi Leonard into the conversation, Kendrick Perkins, and I'm going to play this clip and then we're going to respond to it.
All right, agree or disagree, Kendrick Perkins? If you unplug Scottie from that team, it's different for Michael Jordan.
I disagree. Like to the utmost, and especially when you're talking about MJ. Now, would he have went 6 for 6? Probably not. But 0 for 6 is all the way disrespectful.
That may be the most honest thing Kendrick says in this whole clip. So just wanted to just say that.
And Scottie Pippen had his chances to be the number one option. Didn't Scottie Pippen reject to go in the game when he was quote unquote that 1A and had a beef with Phil Jackson when Jordan stepped away from the game of basketball? Didn't Scottie Pippen also go to the Portland Trail Blazers where he was the number one option? And I know it was on the back end of his career, but I can remember Scottie Pippen down here in the H-Town. Okay, so Scottie Pippen without Michael Jordan is ringless. And when it comes to Scottie, listen, I believe that he's the greatest number 2 of all time. One of the best all-around players to ever play the game of basketball. But I'm going to throw something at you, Stephen A., Shanae, and Shay.
Here's where it gets crazy.
Scottie Pippen is not a better basketball player than Kawhi Leonard. When you talk about overall accomplishments, when you talk about the accolades, when you talk about being a Batman and who's a Batman and who was a Robin, Kawhi Leonard led his team to NBA championships. Kawhi Leonard on the floor with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh came out with a finals MVP. Kawhi Leonard broke up a happy home in Golden State when he was in Toronto with a finals MVP. Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time defensive player of the year. So I get it, man.
So there you have Kendrick Perkins really stretching. And again, they're bringing in Scottie Pippen to essentially diminish Michael Jordan's place in the debate against LeBron James. But I guess for Kendrick, that wasn't enough. Let's just bring in Kawhi Leonard now and compare him to Scottie Pippen. It's crazy. Their paths were different. They played in different eras. The fact of the matter is Scottie Pippen won 6 championships, and he did it with Michael Jordan. And Kawhi Leonard hasn't been able to accomplish that. Now, did he accomplish other things, his individual accolades? Yes, because he wasn't playing consistently in a great team system the way Scottie Pippen was. When he played in Toronto, let's not forget that Golden State had a whole host of injuries in that series and right before it to kind of assist and help what Toronto was able to do. So, let's not forget that. Again, it doesn't take away what they did. They won a chip, end of story. Great for Kawhi Leonard. Let's also not forget he played with Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich and Manu and Tony Parker. He came into an already fantastic system. He didn't help build them. They were already champions before he came in. Again, not taking away from Kawhi Leonard. But if you're going to compare the two players, be fair about it. And I don't think that the narrative is fair. At the end of the day, Scottie Pippen, he was my favorite player for years. He would still be my favorite player if it's not for that number 30 in Golden State. Steph Curry is now my favorite player of all time. But he's not the best player of all time. It's Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen was my favorite player on the Bulls and back then, but never said he was better than Michael Jordan. But he did things Michael Jordan couldn't have done in a team aspect or wasn't willing to do. And I think because of that, Scottie made Michael Jordan a lot better, and Michael Jordan made Scottie better. And I'm not pulling this out of my ass. This is stuff that you've heard Michael Jordan say over and over and over again. And you've heard other people say it. Anyone who was there, anyone who played against him, they knew what was up. They knew that Scottie Pippen, if he picked you up full court, you had to really guard the ball. You couldn't make any mistakes, and even if you didn't, he probably was going to pick you off, or make you take 15 seconds off the shot clock just to get it in position to even try to set up your offense. So Scottie Pippen, the intangibles were off the chart. I think he's the most complete player I've ever seen, and I'm sure that'll spark another debate. But Michael Jordan is the GOAT. That's the end of it. I don't like that they're comparing other players and they're using players' greatness to diminish other players. It's unfair to have that kind of conversation, because there's no way to really know, who would have done what in any particular scenario situation, especially if we're talking about players who played in different eras. Anyway, that is going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That is the easiest way to kind of support me and support what I'm doing, and it costs you zero, just a couple of seconds. So, hope you enjoyed it. Peace.